Blackman, who's going to talk about bilateral judicial reform.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Most debates about judicial reform are kind of pointless and predictable. Progressives, they're not happy with the current courts, and they want to make it harder for conservatives to win in court. Conservatives are happy with the current court, and they want to oppose reforms that make it harder for them to win. Lather, rinse, and repeat. Proposals that only help one side of the aisle have a slim chance of enactment. Indeed, efforts to address emergencies by creating new judgeships stall. Biden vetoed recently the judges bill. The federal courts cannot be reformed through unilateral disarmament. We need bilateral reform. My article proposes 10 neutral proposals to equally weaken the right and the left. They don't have to be adopted as a package. They can be mixed and matched or piecemeal. Most of my reforms involve expanding the mandatory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Some can be done through statutes, some can be done through rules, maybe some through amendments, but I will propose them anyway. Now, I'll admit some of these ideas are sort of off the wall and crazy. They're designed to simulate debate. But I think within these proposals, some clarity can come from chaos. And there are a couple of proposals that values that inform my proposals. First, the court's not granting enough cases. They're not resolving circuit splits. They're not promoting uniformity in the law. They're deciding fewer cases while divisions in the lower court fester. Bad. Second, the justices are cloistered. They're insulated from the lower court and the American people, and they stay in the job too long. Their jobs are cushy, they have smart law clerks, they don't retire when they should. Third, there's way too much emergency litigation. Shadow docket, emergency docket, rocket docket, whatever. It's all bad. We need to cure the underlying cause, not poke around the edges with single judge divisions. All right, so let's walk through these proposals. I got 5 minutes left. The first proposal talks about reforms of the Supreme Court. Number one, ready? Okay. Require the justices to ride circuit. We're bringing it back. They got to travel and see the country. And even better, when a court of appeal sits en banc, the circuit justice presides. Ooh. And they rotate every year. So there will always be a different circuit justice presiding in en banc court. You never know the composition of your en banc court. The votes will be fluctuated. Important. Number two, this one's a pet peeve of mine. Justices are making too much money. Their books are not worth millions of dollars. No one reads them. They might buy them. They don't actually read them. Maybe she does. But no one actually reads these books. She reads lots of books. But I would impose statutory caps for outside earned income through book royalties, advances, and other business dealings. If they want to make money, they can retire, not while they're on the bench. Number three, we all have year-round jobs. Even though we teach only 10 months, we work year-round. The justices have the summer off. Lovely. No more. No more first Monday in October. Year-round sittings every month of the year. That way, if an emergency arises in the summer, it can be resolved. No more, petition filed in June, we'll consider it in October. No. You consider it in July. Okay? Number four, a standard timeline for review of petitions. No more dragging out petitions for a year. Either grant it or deny it. That is on both the merits docket, the emergency docket, and the capital docket. We will have a set number of days which you have to rule on various petitions. This one, when you have a case in the court's mandatory jurisdiction, as they have to take it, there must be oral argument. They can't just summarily affirm, like Eugene mentioned a few minutes ago. That will not work. Okay. The next batch of proposals focuses on the lower courts. Ready for this? This is more radical. Even more radical. Number 6, cases seeking a TRO, a temporary restraining order, can be decided by a single judge, as usual, but you are limited to relief of the named parties. No more nationwide TROs. Gone. And how long? 7 days. Created the world in 7 days, that's only your TRO lasts, okay? 7 days, that's all you get at a TRO. No more indefinite nationwide TROs, no more. Number 7, if you're seeking a preliminary injunction, a PI, or some sort of relief under the APA, equivalent relief, you do not go to a single judge. You go instead to a 3-judge court, but not 2 district judges and a circuit judge, flip it. 2 circuit judges and 1 district court judge. These are mostly questions of law, not of fact. Get it to the circuit court first. And you basically skip a layer of review. Avoids the entire, do we stay, do we not? Don't worry about it. Go right to the Court of Appeals with a 3-judge panel. Number 8, this one's really radical. Injunctions of statutes against the federal government, state governments are automatically stayed. Again, whenever a court enjoins a statute, the statute stayed automatically. The presumption is laws go into effect, which is sort of the opposite presumption we have now. But it goes more. But if the 3-judge panel is divided, that is, it goes 2 judges one way, 1 judge the other way, there's division, the case gets appealed to the Supreme Court to mandatory jurisdiction. Again, so if the panel is unanimous, it's a normal case. But if the panel splits 2 to 1 any which way, you get a mandatory review by the Supreme Court on the rocket docket timeline, the set timeline I mentioned moments ago. So in other words, if a state statute's passed and a 3-judge panel enjoins it with a divided panel, courts resolve it within 60 days. Conversely, if the lower court upholds it with a divided panel, mandatory review. All right, I'm almost about a minute left. Number 9, this one I like. You'll like this one, Haley. En banc circuit courts and state Supreme Courts can submit cases to the Supreme Court's mandatory jurisdiction. They have what I call a certificate of split. If a state court of last resort says there's a split of authority or an important issue, mandatory review. No more circuit splits festering for years. No more. Done. Number 10, retirement. So there's something called the Rule of 80, right? When a judge reaches Rule of 80, he's off the en banc court. Farewell, automatic. You're off the en banc court, and a new judgeship is created. You cannot time your retirement. A judgeship is created once you reach Rule of 80. Okay? These proposals are crazy, off the wall, but will infuriate both sides, which means they might actually have a chance of going somewhere. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's pleasant.
I told you it was pleasant.
Like me. Okay, thank you, everyone.